magical ship through the skies. And as let's do a quick recap of what happened last episode on Bermuda Hex. You guys were dropped on the island by Prince Rygar, who is a complete douche. He took all your magic items and left you to die here. You guys met a elf boy named Oswald, who was just like, hey, I can help you get off this island. You guys were like, yeah, sure you will. And you worked with him for the time being. You destroyed some crystals, you visited Fantasy Costco, and you eventually got to the point where you guys could teleport into the center of the island, which is where Perry wanted to go. You guys teleport there. You go. You see as Oswald just like waves goodbye because he's not going to go to the center of the island. He's getting the fuck out of here. So he left. And you guys went to the center, saw that none other than the dude who kind of owns this island now that you killed the dragon, Orcus, was doing something in the center of the island, but you guys snuck up on him, tried taking him out. He just teleported away and sicked his minions on you, but you defeated them pretty easily with walls of fire and all that. And then as Perry was going to plant a seed into the center of the garden, Khord just stabbed her, like knocked her out, and then when she tried to put it down in the ground again, Khord just killed her. Thankfully, you guys woke up Ari, who rezzed your little friend Perry, and you guys tied up Khord. And as Perry planted her tree, the tree instantly grew and showed to be her patron, her ancient old one, who helped you guys by teleporting you guys over to this abandoned airship that had fallen onto the island. She rebuilt it for you. She put all the treasure on the island onto that ship for you and said to head down to Krag, which, as you guys might know, is where Mica Rockface lives, the woman who was kicked out of the Prince's Council and caused the rest of the princes to choose Rygar as the king of the principalities. So you guys are heading there. There's a little rebellion that is brooding over there, so you want to go help out. And as you guys are sifting through the mounds and mounds of magical items, which I'm pretty sure that's just everyone besides Cicero, who is...
I'm driving this bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I trust them to know what's good for me and what would not be good for me.
I mean,
I think Perry would be a little bit upset and not so focused on treasure.
I think, yeah, we'd be in shock a little bit since Khord just slit his own throat.
Yeah, it was
right
bad.
next to us.
Cicero's focusing on work, but he's not doing too hot.
It was bad, but as you guys are sifting through the treasure, you all find something very interesting for each one of your characters. And these things, Perry, if you identified them, you realize that they are the magic items that they claim to be. However, they seem to have unlocked potential behind them that currently you guys can't access. Sort of like Callan's item.
What's wrong with me?
Well, remember with your dagger?
It's just your dagger.
32 gallons of dragon blood? Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that one.
And
I got dibs.
And to your question, Callan, yes.
Cool beans, dude.
Alright, so as you guys are going throughout your day, eventually you guys drift over to the treasure. Perry, as you're sifting through all the gold pieces, you see a little party tree, like a very small one that's just growing out of the center of the ship. And as you look atop this little tree, you see a little wand there. And as you pick it up, As you pick it up, you feel an even greater connection to your patron. Perry, you find a +3 Rod of the Pact Keeper.
Whew.
All
What
right.
do you know?
A +3 Rod of the Pact Keeper. And I will get out the description, but basically, this rod will allow you to add +3 to all your magical attacks, and it gives you a +3 to your saving throw DC. Yeah. While holding this rod, it can only be attuned by a warlock, and while holding this rod, you gain a bonus to spell attack rolls and to saving throw DCs of warlock spells. The bonus is determined by the rod's rarity, which is a +3. In addition, you can regain one warlock spell slot as an action while holding the rod. You can't use this property until you finish a long rest. So yeah, you get that.
Nice.
Next, Aaron. As you are looking through your own pile of treasure at some point in the day, you find a suit of armor. It's not like a purely ironed suit, though. It seems to be decorated with type of engravings that you can probably guess are from a different dimension, a different plane. And as you look at this, this is a chain shirt. However, this is a 3D chain. It requires attunement to put on, but once you put it on, it becomes a +3 chain shirt. And you are immune to fire damage, and you can speak primordial fluently, and in addition, you can stand on and walk across molten rock as if it were solid ground.
Oh shit. Alright.
So if you fall into molten rock, is it just like hitting the ground?
It's just like hitting the ground.
That could have been useful.
That could have been useful for you, definitely.
And we're never gonna see lava again.
Now, Callan, as you are looking through, you don't feel like you really need any magic items. You have A, but as you see these two items, you quickly realize, yes, you need magic items. Because you find a 2 hand crossbows of speed. Now, these hand crossbows are +2, so each one will do a +2 to attacks and damage. And then on top of that, you have the ability to basically attack with them twice. So you'll be able to do one shot with one hand, another shot with your bonus action, with your offhand, and then an additional shot with your main and offhand.
Is that
And they are reloading, just like the ones that you currently have.
so? Is it whenever I attack with one, I can use it again? So like if I choose not to bonus action shoot, can I still do 2 with the regular attack?
Yep.
Each crossbow shoots 2. If you want to
Yep.
use both of them, you can get 4 shots.
Exactly. And
Now- Oh, okay. Yeah.
And-
Okay.
and each crossbow has pretty much a clip of 10 bolts. So after 10 rounds, you're going to have to reload. But I don't think I enforced that with your other one, but that was the same thing for that one.
No, I didn't know that there was a limit on it.
Yeah, there's a limit.
I also don't think you shot more than 10 times in one
True.
combat anyways.
At any one point, no, I didn't. Reload
All
between
right.
battles, I guess.
Mm. And then Perry, along with the Rod of the Pact Keeper, you also see, as you're sifting through, a staff. It's pretty tucked away, but you pull it out, and this appears to be a Staff of the Woodlands. Unfortunately, it can only be attuned by a druid. But this staff is considered a +2 quarter staff. While holding it, your spell attacks have +2. And the staff has 10 charges. And you get recharging them a d6 +4 at every dawn, yada yada yada. You can cast Animal Friendship, Awaken, Bark Skin, Locate Animals and Plants, Speak with Animals, Speak with Plants, or Wall of Thorns using this. And then it also has an ability where you can use an action to plant one end of the staff in fertile earth and expend one charge to transform the staff into a healthy tree. The tree is 60 feet tall and has 5 feet diameter trunk, and its branches at the top spread out to 20 feet. The tree appears ordinary, but radiates a faint aura of transmutation magic if targeted by detect magic. While touching the tree and using another action to speak its command word, you return the staff to its normal form. Any creature in the tree falls when it reverts to a staff. Okay, that's
Okay.
weird.
Nice.
So it can turn into a tree if it wanted
You can make a
to.
tree.
Finally, Perry, you find something that you know that your good friend Cicero is just going to cream his jimmies over.
Ew. It's gross.
Because as you are sifting through, you feel some fabric. It's a nice blue type of fabric, and as you pull it out, you see that it's not a curtain or anything, it's actually a cloak. This is a cloak of the Archmage.
Oh, this really suits me. Don't you think this cloak really suits me, Cicero? I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's just completely suited to my stature.
Perry, come over to the wheel. I've got my eye on the horizon and I really don't want to lose it. I don't want to crash into something. What are you saying to me?
Oh,
Cool
and
new
excuse me,
cloak
it's a
that is
robe.
definitely for me and for me alone.
Not gonna lie, Clark, I thought it was gonna be Wings of Flying, but this is pretty fucking cool too.
I mean, technically, Perry, it can be attuned by a sorcerer, warlock, or wizard.
Want this cool cape? I already got some neat stuff.
This is
I
where the
would-
strength of their friendship is tested.
I would love a cape. Could I? Oh, it's blue. That's lovely. Do you know what it does? I know you were identifying a lot of things over the course of like hours. So
It's magic.
it's magic. Yeah.
It does magic. What does it do, Clark?
This elegant garment is made from exquisite cloth of blue, gray, or black. In this case, it's blue, and adorned with silvery runes. The robe's color corresponds to the alignment for which the item was created. A blue robe means it was made for good, a gray for neutral, and black for evil. You can't attune to a robe of Archmage that doesn't correspond to your alignment. You gain these benefits while wearing the robe. If you aren't wearing armor, your base armor class is 15 plus your dexterity. You have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. And finally, your spell save DC and spell attack bonus each increase by 2.
All that.
Can I ask a fun question?
It's fun.
Yes.
What color is the robe?
Blue.
It's blue?
Blue.
Dabbity
It's
It's
a
not
light.
white, gray, nor black?
No, it's not gray nor black.
Hmm.
It's not red either.
No, it's not red.
Huh.
No, normally the colors for them are white, gray, or black, because normally
He
you have to
changed
be
it to blue
specific.
because mine's a
Well-
blue boy.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
You don't look up the magic item when I'm giving it, because maybe it might be a little bit different, Mr. Snoopy. Look at my book, man.
I know this item off by heart, man. I'm sorry.
Man, the new guy's rules lawyering already, man. Oof.
All right,
Step
so
off.
you these are the items that you guys find inside of the huge treasure hoard. And as you guys are just attuning to these items, you have Ari and Khord's stuff to split up. Of I think Ari got a book of wisdom.
Yep.
Yes,
Already,
to give a
has
plus
already
to. What was that?
it has already been used, but yeah.
No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
No, it
No,
hasn't.
she hasn't been able to read it yet. She was
We
only on the
didn't
island
even-
for a day
We
with
didn't
it.
even have enough in-game time if she spent all of her time doing that for her to read it.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, somebody want more wisdom?
So yeah, you have a book that gives you an additional 2 to your wisdom. You have Khord's Belt of Storm Giant Strength. You have
The tarantula bracelet,
Yep, the tarantula bracelet.
the mockingbird gum, or whatever it was called,
Mm-hmm.
healing
Mm.
staff, and she had something else that I can't remember.
Yeah, Staff of Healing.
The belt of
and-
dwarven
And
kind.
the dwarven belt.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you have all those magic items with you.
I was AFK. Was there any magic items that might interest somebody who likes to punch things?
I'm pretty sure the thing that's going to interest the person who loves to punch things is perhaps a belt that increases his strength to a 27.
29.
29. No, I'm pretty sure it's
No,
27.
It's 29.
Is it 29?
Yeah,
29.
Storm
Yeah.
Giant's kind of stupid. It's so good.
So, no, there's nothing else for you. I was thinking about it when I was doing my horde, just like, I'm going to give everyone one,
Well,
and
I
they're
mean,
really going to love it.
you're
and then
assuming
I
that
was-
we're gonna give him the belt.
True.
Maybe we don't trust him. Maybe we don't like him.
Listen,
Maybe.
literally everyone we've encountered so far has betrayed us. Okay,
Man, you guys seem mean.
literally everybody.
Betrayed me.
Every time. It's every single time. And it's bad.
I'm not even
Every
joking.
single time?
Literally everybody.
Literally every time.
Betrayed
Yes.
Perry.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
And Calvin knew, and they haven't betrayed me.
All right. Well, yeah, you guys continue to fly. Thankfully, because of Cicero's navigating, you skirt around. You go over Orgulus and maybe Crown Island, as to stay away from Dreadhold and Regalport. You don't want to be seen at all by either of those two places.
Nope.
So as you guys are going about, as you eventually, and this is a long time of being on the ship, though it is quicker than the just going on a normal boat. So if you guys have anything you would like to do while on the ship, you can.
Downtown.
I would like to give the dexterity book that I got to Callan.
What is this?
It's like the wisdom book, but it's for dexterity.
You don't want to read it?
No. I got it for you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll hand you back your fiend book that I've been flipping through for the last however many days, which I assume I finally read all of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is enough days for everyone to read that fiend book if they wanted to.
Sure, I'll pass it around if anyone cares. I got it from the orcs back next to Regalport, so it's been a while.
I read it. I'm all about self-study.
I'm assuming Callan's gonna read the book during the trip.
If
That's-
nobody else wants to use this dex book, then, or is that what you're talking about, Brett?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
It takes like 12. No, it takes a lot of hours, and it gets to be so quick.
And how long are we just floating around at sea?
A
we're
couple
flying.
weeks.
Oh, well then I would, yeah, I'd like to get that over with then.
I'm pretty sure it's 48 hours over a period of 6 days.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna pull an all-nighter.
So yeah,
Ooh.
as you do so, you can increase your dex by 2.
And it
So cool.
increases your maximum dex by 2 as well. So your maximum dex
Yes.
is now 22.
Oh, so
For the purposes of
another-
ASIs and stuff.
Yeah, it can go up again. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty
Mhm.
nice. What does the Fiend book do? I don't really want to read it, but like I'm just
It
curious.
just
Oh,
tells you
it's
It
about
turns you
just-
into a fiend.
It's just general knowledge
Oh.
book, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm all set personally. I'm trying to think what Cicero would do. I'm sure he passes off like actually steering to an air elemental when he's not doing this thing. But
The air elementals have to keep this thing flying.
understandable. I keep
I'd
driving.
like to learn if you want to teach me, and then you can get some
Yeah, to
downtime.
fucking teach him air vehicles.
I'll take a permit. But there are some, the wee hours of the night I'm not allowed to drive.
Do they have those? Do they have learner's permits for giant airships?
Not really. It's not a formal system. Most of the time, if you're just in indentured servitude,
I'm gonna
you
go
learn on the
find
job.
So
I'm gonna
yes.
find myself a stool from like one of the washrooms or something and bring it over to the wheel.
Yeah, if you two spend 10 out of the 14 days that you are flying, you will be able to transfer on a flying vehicle proficiency.
Ooh.
Sure, because I don't have anything in the downtime on this ship that I think I do, other than reading.
If no one else wants it, I will take that belt of dwarven kind though,
Go
because
for it. Want
Yeah.
that here?
that'd be
Want
good
that
for
here?
me.
Other than how funny it would be for like either Perry or me, because we're so small. But I think it makes more sense for you.
I mean, I just need the dark vision.
I didn't even think of that. That's probably a good idea.
It's a good
No.
idea. Yeah, go for it though.
Thank you.
4 days.
Alright, you put
What
on
can
the
I do with
belt.
4 days?
How
What
many
can I do?
attunement items do you have now?
With the chain shirt and now the belt, that's 2.
Isn't your bow attunement?
That's 3.
No.
You're right.
Yeah. All right. So you are fully set, Aaron, with attunements.
I mean, I can still use more. We can change them out every now and then, get some variety.
Yep. But right now you are maxed out on what you are currently attuned to.
Yeah, pretty much.
I believe my Ring of the Grammarian was attunement, but the Box of Extreme Convenience was not. Now that was the
Mhm.
Glutton's Fork. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm at 3 now. Yeah. Cool. Love it. What can I do with 4 days, Clark? Not much.
With 4 days, what would you like to do?
I'm just trying to figure out what like my options are and what would be realistic while I'm driving.
Well, if you start immediately teaching Callan how to drive, you can spend those 4 days doing what you want.
No, like I'm wondering if you have a list of things that are available for downtime, so that that's I could choose because I just don't know.
Yes, let me get the book for you so you can let me get out my prepared list of downtime things for you.
Are the hand crossbows of speed attunement? Just asking.
No, they are not.
Okay,
Asking
cool.
for a friend.
Because then
Asking
that
for
would
a
be
friend,
like,
yeah.
that would be like
Gee,
2
thanks, this is
attunement slots. But let me get something for you, Laura. Tell you what you can do with your downtime. Let's see. No, no, no. No, no, no. I will allow you to do some impromptu training. Basically, what I'll allow you to do is you can try to learn a proficiency of a toolkit or something that you would have on board.
There is a
Or-
carving kit.
Yep,
There's a what?
there's a carving kit, but you would have to pick it off of Khord's dead body.
How about cooking? Can we go with cooking?
Yeah. However, you only have 4 days to do this.
We'll
So
start out.
I will allow you to roll me some checks, just straight d20s, and depending on your rolls, then I will allow you to pick up the proficiency.
All right. So how many d20s do you want?
I will need 4 of them.
Okay. 1. Oh,
Okay.
okay. I don't know how to cook. That's fine.
Roll one more.
I don't know how to
Okay,
cook.
You don't know how to cook.
Okay, that's fine. I still do
You
like to
try.
try.
You're getting a lot of progress, but it's
A lot of burned food is what I'm getting.
yeah, a lot of burden food, a lot of burden like hands and arms. But you're trying.
I miss Aurielle's cookies.
I miss Aurielle's cookies too. I'm surrounded by burnt smell and I can't get it go away.
I would like to learn how to use the wood carving kit.
Oh, I can teach you.
Khord.
All right,
Good.
you can just do that with 10 days then, Perry.
Do it.
All right. Anyone else want to do anything?
I don't. I would want to do stuff with leatherworking, but I don't have the tools, so I can't do anything.
Okay. You could always try to spend these days trying to get in contact with Ayun again.
That seems like a hint. So okay.
It's an option, but sure.
I mean, I don't have any. The focus that I used was taken away, so I don't have anything that I could use to do anything with it. I mean, I probably wouldn't try then.
I guess you won't do what normal religious folk do when they want to contact their god and just get down on their knees and pray.
Do I seem like the religious kind of folk to you?
God, I pray.
All right. So I'll see if there's anything else that you can do. I mean, you could go ahead and roll investigation to find stuff on the ship, because I have left around some
Don't loot
toolkits there.
my shit.
What do you mean don't loot? It's not looting your ship, it's finding out the stuff that's already here. This is
Fine.
ours.
Fine, yeah.
Our ship.
Haven't even named it and you're already going off and taking things from
Well,
it.
whose
You
fault
still
is
didn't
that?
name it? I thought you named
I
it already.
asked for it to be a collaborative effort.
I gave you
You
some
didn't-
names.
Did
Yeah?
you bring it down to like your top 3?
Yeah, I do actually. I made a Google Doc of it.
Do you want me to make more than one check?
Yeah, you make 14 checks. Well, at least until you pass. So roll in the next one. We'll do them one at a time.
14.
All right,
Is that
there
good
you
enough?
go. Day 3. Day 3 of looking about this ship. You finally find a leatherworker's kit, and luckily for you, you have 11 days left to try to learn it.
Yeah, I'll mess around with it for as long as I need to.
All right, you spend 10 days, and you are now proficient with leatherworker's tools. All right, and then Callan, you basically spend the rest of your 4 days reading the book because you'll need to cram. But yeah, you guys finish up with all your downtime. And as you guys keep on sailing through the skies, as you get about to here, just right in the middle of nowhere, you hear something that you've never heard before in your lives, but you've heard story of, as you hear a large roar.
Does it
And
sound
as-
like an undead kraken?
No. But as
I've
you
heard that
look,
before.
you've heard that before.
No, it
As
didn't
you-
make any noise before it left. Well, none of us have actually saw it. but
Well,
Cicero.
we heard
I
the
saw
live
it.
Kraken. We didn't hear the undead Kraken.
I saw it.
As you look off the bow of the ship, you see another thing in the sky as big as your ship,
But
and it's going the opposite direction of you.
Hey Cicero, does this thing have any weapons?
we're
like-
about to find out, aren't we?
Like cannons, like a normal ship would have?
I call out primordial stations on the right. Side.
The primordial that is currently blowing air into the sails just like looks down to you and says, if you want this thing to fall to the ground, then we can go man the cannons.
No, I just really need to know where they are, quite honestly. So my friends can man them. You keep on. It's alright.
Well, he'll just be like, I can just stop, sort of like just dropping anchor.
I mean, it was flying in the opposite direction of you guys.
Yeah. And as you guys are like running to man the stations, you see it. It is a large silver dragon.
Oh! The shiny ones are the good ones.
The shiny ones are the good ones.
Is
That's
that
all
how
I
that-
know about dragons.
Is that how
Racist
how it
somehow.
works?
Shiny ones are good ones. That's all I've got for you.
Oh, so you think it's
Yeah.
good because it's white?
Generally,
it's
metallic
silver,
colors
clearly.
are good. Chromatics are bad. Generally.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't know any of this.
Where have
would
you
know
guys?
that. Dragons are flippin' famous. You would know the basics about dragons.
So, you guys, where did you put Khord's body? Did you just leave it on deck?
Better
In a
not.
bag.
No, I don't
We
think
would
we'd
have
have left it on
wrapped
deck.
it up like we would have done some sort of thing or something.
Probably put it in.
Way we could like cremate him. I wouldn't want him to just be sitting around rotting.
Yeah.
Did you guys get any bags of holding from the treasure?
No.
We did not put you in a bag of holding.
Cremate him
Well,
on the ship.
I'd say we would. Yeah, I would vote for either a cremation or a sailor's funeral.
There's dead things in the water. I just as soon cremate him.
How? Oh, did we burn him? Is that like cremating's a little bit more sophisticated? I just,
I don't
It
know
would
about
be.
having.
It
I
would
don't know about
probably
having
be a fire.
I don't know about
like
having
an
a
old
fire
style
on a wooden
fire.
ship.
I know that's my issue.
Well, it would
Like-
have been before you left. If you guys did that, I would assume.
Well, you killed yourself while we were in the air.
No,
So
it was.
The air elementals, or is
before
this
you
like steampunk
took
with
off.
like fire elementals or stuff?
No,
Air.
this is air elementals.
Because they get along with me.
Several of us know spells. Surely there would be. I mean, I have the rod of fire. Surely there'd be a way to contain it.
I would probably have levitated the body and then let Perry fireball him,
Yeah.
collect the ashes after, etc. So we probably
So-
have like a jar of his ashes, sort of a
Where,
deal.
where would you put it, Cicero?
If he had a helmet, we probably would have put the jar in the helmet and kept it. You don't want to just put it away, you know?
I need a location on the ship.
Top deck, like that would have been there. It's where he spends most of his time.
All
You
right.
nail the
so-
helmet kind of high on the mast. Is there a mast?
Of course, there's a mast. It's gotta be a mast.
Do
Shit,
you
it's magic.
want-
I don't know. Just so he can see,
Do
you know.
you want it in the crow's nest then?
Yeah.
All right. So as the dragon comes by, you notice that it comes over to your ship. It flies up to the top of your mast and just places itself there.
Ah!
As it reaches over and grabs the urn and the helmet, and it sort of places it in between its scales. It looks down to you all without uttering any words, and then flies off, continuing its direction away from you guys.
Okay.
Why?
I think it might have been.
Friend. Okay. There, I guess.
I'm glad it wasn't Cross. Um, he made things cold when he fought, especially with the particularly large heads. That might have been where he got it from.
Might have been.
Right. Right.
This is just as well. I felt weird just kind of putting him in the crow's nest like that. Oh.
All right.
And then the ship was silent for a while.
And the ship was silent as you guys continue on until finally you see land down below you. And Cicero, thanks to the maps given to you and the your general knowledge of wayfaring, you know that this is the island of Krag. There were only a couple of there was only 3 greater healing potions, Aaron.
Okay.
Greater, is
Yeah.
that all?
Yeah, that's really all that you found.
Huh.
Huh. Well, I guess the extremely rare magic items weren't enough.
I was just asking.
Oh
I was about to say, I was like,
I'm,
greater
I'm
healing
just
potions
kidding.
don't come by every day, so that's pretty nice.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, you as you start to bring the ship down, Cicero, you see that there is a large castle here made of pure stone that flies the banner of what appears to be a woman's head with a ponytail, and then two bones in an X on it.
Hey Cicero, maybe before you bring us down, maybe we should make sure that we're not gonna get blown out of the sky.
I would love that. You want to run the helm? I could bring myself down. Tell everybody that we're not to be that we're not coming in
I don't really
anger.
know how to drive this. You were
Who
teaching
is it?
Callan, right?
That's right. I'm sorry. I thought it was Callan talking to me.
Yeah, I mean we look the same. Just
You are the same person.
yeah.
You reproduced by budding. It's fine. I'm so sorry. I wasn't looking at my.
Slightly
I
taller,
wasn't
but
looking
that's
at my
fine.
Discord. I wasn't looking at my Discord. I thought it was Callan that was talking to me. I'm so sorry.
I lost my voice this weekend too, so it shouldn't even be anywhere similar.
Yeah, that's completely my fault. My bad. Hand the wheel over to Callan. I can go down.
At this
I
point, I'm
stick
just
up on my stool and I happily take the wheel.
at this point I'm
Right,
just used
yeah.
to us getting mixed up all the time for everyone for
So
some
sorry.
reason,
Yeah.
even though we look nothing alike.
What? Okay.
Okie dokie. So, Cicero, how are you going to be getting down? You do
I'm
have
levitating
ropes on the
down.
okay.
It looks pretty damn cool, if I can be honest.
You go on and levitate down, and you see that there are 2 half-orcs holding great axes waiting at the docks, and as you start to just float down near them, they sort of look at you. They don't act aggressive, and as you finally come down, they just like look at you. Are you friends with Donnie or Egon?
Egon. Yeah. I'm sorry we made a bit of an entrance. Are we alright to touch down? You wouldn't want to step on any toes.
And they look up to the ship in the sky, and they're just like, one that's like, Park carefully.
Oh, we will. Callan is a master. He's fantastic.
As the other one like looks over to the dock and sees that like there are a bunch of ships already docked, and he's just like, "Give us a second."
Yeah, take your
As
time.
as the other
obliged,
one
gentlemen.
just goes and undocks all the ships in just like one straight line, so that you guys have room in order to dock.
Much obliged, gentlemen. We really appreciate it. I send up these lovely blue sparks for prestidigitation up to kind of give him a signal that we're good to come down.
Okay.
Assumedly, he would have told me that before, so I'm like, oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, that.
And I cover my eyes with one hand, and I start
I make
turning
those,
the other hand.
like lovely, like flashy red things to kind of like when you're doing an
Yes.
airplane, sort of. You know what I'm talking about? Absolutely.
Little guide lights.
Yeah, guide lights from my little fingers. So we got them.
I
They're
tie
right in there.
I tie a rope around my waist and then around one of the masts,
All right.
just in case.
It's like a kid trying to parallel park for the first time. Just needs a little bit of help. It's good.
If I had more confidence, I'd like try and shake the boat left or right before going in just to knock Aaron off. But I don't.
You're not gonna knock me
A
off.
full week and a half.
I'm tied to the mast. You're not gonna knock
No,
me
that's
off.
the whole point. I want you being like thrown left and right. But I'm not gonna do that
So-
because I've had all of like 8 days of practice.
Yeah. So, with the help of the air elementals and your driving, you're able to dock the ship pretty nicely. And as you all get off, the two half-orcs say, "Miko wants to talk to you all in the castle. Follow
I bet
us."
she does.
And
Come on,
they
yeah.
Yep. They lead you into this large stone castle. As you go through these halls, you see that there are just a bunch of mounted weapons. There are pictures of dwarves and half-orcs and Goliaths. And finally, as you get into this large, what appears to be dining area, you see a couple people that you know. You see Egon, the little gnomish artificer, who is currently just studying some potions at one of the tables. You notice Donnie and Tick Tick, who are currently sitting by a dwarvish woman with a ponytail that you can only assume is Mica Rockface. And you notice a couple other people. There is a woman that you guys might recognize as Cassandra Kinslane sitting at a table next to a very, well, not really very frail anymore, a more strapping and sturdy Gordon.
Got boss!
My God, you clean up well. Yeah. Hello.
And yeah, as you guys head on over, Gordon just waves you. Yeah, I guess. I've been sailing for a while now while you guys were off saving the world and all that.
Is that what we did?
Well,
As of right now, it's looking pretty safe. So I'm gonna call that one a win.
I don't think we've met. I'm Aaron.
hi, nice to meet you. I'm Gordon. And Cassandra looks over. She's a half-elf, I recall.
I think
And
so. Yeah.
she looks over to you. She's got a very burly muscles. She's a very strong woman as she reaches over and shakes your hand. Firm grip. Hey, I'm Cassandra. Nice to meet you.
know-
Who? Was it me?
Yeah.
Aaron.
Aaron. Good name.
Nice to meet you as well.
Gordon like looks about and's like, we know Perry and Cicero. We actually met each other when we were, cast off of a boat. We landed off of we landed on Cape Far and made our way down to Tantamar. Yeah, it was a pretty exciting time. I was a lot skinnier and a lot more
Useless.
stuttery back then. Yes, useless. You could say that. I mean, I do remember that I caused that fog cloud
Harry,
to kill
Harry,
those goblins.
did a fantastic
That's
job.
what
and thank
matters.
you.
Oh, yes, of course. I have heard of you two actually a little bit. Cicero and Perry and Khord would speak of you occasionally.
Mm-hmm. It was a good time, and until Tantabar got destroyed. But we went over to Tempest Isle, and me and Father Don, and as he says Father Don, he like looks over, and he see that there is one water genasi currently slamming down some ales at a table, and just constantly yelling, "Brother, I'm gonna need another one, brother."
Yay, it's Father Don!
Hello, Father. It's really good to see you again.
Ooh, yeah, brother. It's nice to see you too, Cicero. Ooh, yeah. Father Don's been
Here.
cooped up in this place for a while now, brother. But it's a good thing that little Miss Mika's been fighting me, brother. I've been keeping in shape. And you see that he, too, is a little bit more burly than he was before.
My God. Everyone's buff. Everybody got buff.
Uh-huh. Well,
And,
mean-
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, as you guys are talking, Donnie comes over to you guys. Miss Perry, Aaron,
Donnie.
Callie, it's nice to see you all again.
Hey, it's good to see you, man. How you been doing?
Well, I've been doing.
How's
We
how's life on the road with Tick Tick?
when we left you, well, it was pretty good. When we left you, we Tick Tick and I, we both agreed that we had to do a little bit more research, because when we talked with that orc guy back in the demon cave, we wanted to get the other side of the story from Miss Mica. So we went over there, and we learned a little bit more about herself, and we learned pretty quickly, once the whole Rygar thing happened, what exactly he was doing. Everything just clicked. So now we're here, and I guess you can say that along with Lady Mika, we're the ones who started this little rebellion of sorts.
I see. So, just like what is the other side of the story? By the way, I mean, everything that we were doing was against Mika, so I don't know.
Well,
Didn't
the
strike
thing
me
was,
as
is
most upright of people.
yeah, well, we didn't think that at first either, but we wanted to hear both sides of the story, and turns out that this side's a little bit more complicated than we once thought. Lady Mika, she really, uh, she likes to pirate, and she doesn't do it to do all the raping and killing type of things. She's doing it because she wants people to have the freedom to do what they want to do. Uh, she sort of took it to the extreme a little bit by doing all this pirating, by telling people to go pirate, but you have to be honest with yourself that it kept people away from being complete dogs to a king. So maybe she didn't know quite what was going through Rygar's mind, but during her time of being a prince, she did keep him away from, well, what he's doing now.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So she's actually a good person once you get to know her. She takes a little bit of time to get used to, but she, at the heart of it, she wants people to have free will to do what they want, even if those things are pirated.
Sure. I suppose. Well, this will be interesting to say the least. But hey, it's good to see you, man. I'm glad you're still alive at least. Looks like you're
Yeah.
doing well for yourself.
Well, it's nice seeing you too, Aaron. And you look honestly like you just crawled out of hell.
That would be a close
Well,
approximation,
well,
yeah.
we kind of did. So
Here,
makes sense.
let me introduce you to the folk that we've got here so far, and then we can have our little talk with Mica as a group. We've been waiting for y'all to arrive. Well, we were gonna give you another week until we just decided that Rygar killed y'all, but we're glad that you didn't. So let me introduce you to everyone. I think you already met Egon, and he walks over. Egon's currently just showing Perry his new potion concoctions.
Ooh.
Yep, and this one, using that essence of Nightshade or whatever we got back on Tantamar, I have been able to create a potion that can send people into a completely hallucinated reality. It lasts for like 10 seconds, but it's still really cool. Huh?
That I made?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice.
It helped out a lot. Oh,
Or like in a more like assault type fashion.
both work. Both work. Anyway, I wanted to give you guys something. I was hoping that you would come back, and I heard a little bit about Rygar, what he did to you, and I made you guys this. And he hands you, Perry, a fresh new bag of holding.
Oh my god, Egon, this is amazing. This is that thing you jumped into that one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you needed to keep you safe, and you had to hold your breath. It was really good, considering the circumstances. I'm glad we made it. Thank you.
Caught so much shit
Me
in
too.
this.
Hang on, you jumped into one of those?
He had to. In
He
the Battle
like,
of Tantama, he's not quite fast enough. He's a gnome, So he
yeah.
handed me the bag, he jumped into the bag, and I had to run while holding it, and he had about a minute before he started to suffocate and die. So that's what we did.
He takes the bag and he's like starts he opens it up and starts putting one foot in at a time. And he just keeps it so that his upper body is still out of the bag.
It always just weighs 15 pounds no matter what. So it doesn't matter if you put 5 people in it, so long as they can breathe, then you're good.
Well,
We
I
could put,
can't I can't
50,000
argue with you.
gold. Hypothetically, if we happen to have 50,000 gold, we could put it in there.
Yeah. No, I mean the bag of holding is amazing. I'm just amazed that he jumped in there and is still alive.
Given the circumstances, it was an incredibly smart decision. We would have been out without a rudder, I think.
Egon like slowly gets out of the bag and hands it back to Perry. I hope you guys can find uses for it. We're
Absolutely.
probably
Thank you,
you're
Egon.
probably going to need to. Oh, no problem. And Next, Donnie leads you over to Cassandra and Gordon. Saying, you guys already talked to these folk, but this is Captain Cassandra and her first mate Gordon.
Hello, Cass. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you too, Cicero. They've been traveling around the islands a good amount when they started to see that a fleet of Rygar's ships started to head south. Well, they wanted to find out what was going on, and well, they eventually came around to here, and we got word to them. And then he leads you over to Tic Tac. Sure, you know our good friend Tic Tic.
Oh,
Hey, Tick Tick. By the way, can Tick Tick still not talk or
He-
communicate in any way?
He like chitters as he raises a hand.
Hey, it looks like you've gotten smarter a little bit.
He sort of just like knocks on his skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out that that little curse thing that was going on, all we had to do was get a real good doctor on him, and well, sort of freed him from it. So when we came over here to Mika, she took a little bit of pity on him because he reminded her of one of her really, really dumb barbarians that she has here. And well, she, as much as she loves dumb barbarians being in her group, she doesn't really particularly like people just to take orders and not think. So she helped us out.
Well, I'm glad it looks like you've recovered your senses at least.
Tick tick nods.
It's good to see you.
And then he leads you over to another table. Over to a bugbear sitting down. Huge, burly dude. Well, this one over here is a local on the island. Well, sort of. This is Leyland. Leyland, go ahead and introduce yourself.
he doesn't talk much.
Brett, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, a few steps behind Mika, standing imposingly but also politely, you see a big, hairy creature. Gives you off the sensation of an immovable mountain. It seems just as big. And you notice that it is wearing armor, but it's very hard to tell because it has hair that is the color of steel. And then you notice it is an actual bugbear. But you notice that it's not quite like what you would expect a bugbear to be. It's not as animalistic. It stands in between a mix of a human and like what a bugbear would. And it just sits there quietly. And he just looks over everyone carefully.
So, Perry, with your nature check, you know the limited amount of knowledge that bugbears are considered goblins. But this
Yeah,
guy
I
doesn't
presume
look
I don't
like
know enough to know that this is a different sort of bugbear. I just know that it's kind of, oh yeah, bugbears are supposed to be kind of furry, goblin-y things, and that's basically all I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Donnie says, well, go ahead and introduce yourself, Leyland.
Sir. And then he'll look at the rest of you and just be like, I'm Leyland Shieldbrand, and I am here to help. And he speaks in a very polite tone.
Well,
All right.
it's a pleasure
Good
to
to
meet you,
know.
Lena. Glad you're on my side.
He's a pretty big, beefy guy, that Miss Mica keeps around. She likes for him to fight. He's a pretty good fighter, though he doesn't really use any swords or nothing.
Sure, I'd imagine.
All right, let me show you over to our most lively of guests, and he brings you over to Father Don's table.
Yeah.
Some of you may know this man as Father Don, and Father Don, a water genasi who's wearing a full suit of plate armor, looks to you all. Ooh, yeah, brother. I remember some of you. I remember Cicero and Perry. Ooh,
Hi, 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 hi,
brother.
hi.
You guys finally made it, brother.
Calvin as well.
Yeah.
You're not gonna fucking believe what we've been through, I'll tell you that.
Well, I haven't really been through too much, brother. I've just been sailing around, brother, trying to bring the good Lord's will to everyone that I can, brother. But then when I heard that a king overthrew the other princes and stuff, well, didn't really overthrew, only had to overthrow one. I had to go stop it, brother.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Oh, thank God. It's just good to be in a room full of people who aren't going to kill you. That is something I can absolutely appreciate.
Well, we don't know that yet.
I don't think they're going to kill us. I really hope they're not going to kill us.
We didn't think any of the people were going to kill us.
I know that. But
You're
we're
not a
here
real
for...
trusted one, are you, brother?
No,
Listen,
we've been through a lot.
we've had a rough couple of weeks, alright?
Ooh, brother. If there's one thing you have to put your faith into, that's the gods, brother. They'll get you out of any situation, brother. That's why I pray to Habakkuk every day, brother.
Yeah, I'll leave you to that. And
You hear a small scoff from Leyland, but he doesn't say anything.
did you come with us?
I mean, he's following behind a few steps behind
Oh.
Donnie right now.
All right, and then Donnie leads you guys over to another person. This guy just showed up. Said he wanted to do some research, and we took that as, wanting to help. He seems pretty strong, so we might as well take him. Why not? And he looks over and says, "I'm gonna need you to introduce yourself, you fucking husk."
Oh, what me? Hi.
Hi. Yes.
Hello. I don't sound like Husk used to. Am I introducing myself? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's what you're doing, bud.
Hello. I'll hit you with a bow. I'm wearing nice, like, silk blue clothing. It kind of runs down. It's rather common clothing. There's a belt. On top of that, there's like bone or chitin armor that covers like my chest. There's like one shoulder pad that's rather large, and the other one's just kind of you know. I got like not shoulder pads, shin pads and shit. Half plate. I'm wearing bone half plate. My skin is not skin, for it is instead scales. My mouth protrudes outwards. I am a lizard folk, and I am pleased to meet you.
Donnie said he just showed up. Hello. Sorry, I've never seen you before. Do you live here then? Is that all right? Sorry.
Oh my God, I've always wanted to meet a lizard folk. Hi, I'm Perry. Nice to meet you.
Oh, geez. Hello. He'll like, his eyes will widen and he'll kind of like focus in on you for a second. He's like, I don't quite know what I'm doing here, Clock. Help.
Basically, Husk, you have been wandering around doing your research on flora and fauna, and you've been wanting to learn a little bit more about the people of each island. you've made your way onto Krag and discovered that they have lived a different way than other islanders. From the places you've been, it's been pretty simple. It's people follow a prince. They do menial labor of building homes and fishing and all that. But the Krag is a little bit different because as you enter, this is a more real like militaristic type of place where the majority of one's day is beating the sense out of another person, just training, and if they're not training, they are off on their ships sailing.
I'm sure I could
And
get a lot of
pirating.
work healing people here then, couldn't I?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's what you have been doing. And eventually, you were offered by Mica Rockface, the prince of this island,
Hmm.
to be pretty much like the court doctor, because you're really the only healer here out of everyone.
Lord,
They
oh
used to
Lord.
just rub dirt on their wounds before you got here.
No!
A real
That's gonna
sanitary.
get infected, stop! No! You treat it with water.
But dirt good make you tough.
Dude,
No.
sure, if you like being sick.
But
Do you like
yeah,
being sick?
she has brought you into this fold because she has told you that one of the princes of the principalities kicked her out of her rule and has persuaded the other princes to make him king. And he is going to march an entire army off into what appears to be a slaughter. And
Jesus.
you, as a doctor, as a healer, know that ain't good
That is
because
not
you don't want a bunch of people dying.
no.
So instead of like going out and being a field medic, you've decided to stay here with her to try to stop the war from even starting.
And the best place to cure an illness is at the source, right?
Yep.
Let the leader stop the war. Anyways, back to the present moment. Hello there. Did you say your name was Perry?
Yes. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm Foster. And do a little head bow again and kind of realize this isn't socially adept. Move my head back up. Look to Cicero. Did you ask me a question? Oh, she's muted. Oh no, what have I done?
Buster, you
Ruined
speak
everything.
common uncommonly well given the shape of your mouth. That's super impressive.
Oh, it's been a long while of, I guess, training. I've lived among the humanoids for a long time.
Amongst dinosaurs, and they look kind of like you, so that's why I was just super excited to meet you.
Oh, I don't believe my tribe was raised around dinosaurs. I don't remember much
And
of
they're
my
mean.
tribe days.
So
Well,
he is not from the Talento Plains, Perry, unfortunately.
You
not
know,
like
there's
you.
a superficial resemblance. I just think it's neat, is all.
Okay. It's like slightly racist that you thought that, but I'm going to let that slide.
It's a theme of us. It's just racism. Don't worry about it.
Now the victim
Cool,
becomes the
cool.
racist.
It's come full
I'm glad-
circle.
I'm glad everyone here gets along then. Did anybody need anything of me, or are we just invading my personal space for no reason?
I've been collecting vials of blood from people.
Oh, I mean, that might come in handy for research.
And-
What kind of blood?
I just kind of show up like between Aaron's legs, just from like the ground. All 3 foot,
All right.
like 2 of me.
You could just, walk around my legs. You don't have to go
Nobody's
through
giving
them.
me any space in this building.
There's so much space.
I
What are
feel
you
left
talking
out.
about? Here,
I
you
like
know what?
the-
Here, I take him and I put him on my shoulders like a little kid.
I
Is
don't
that
need
better?
to be treated
Is
this
that-
way.
is that better?
I'm older than you. You put me down.
I mean, you said you didn't have space. So you have plenty of space up here, right?
I dislike this.
I'm gonna look back down to Perry. Are they always like this? Is this normal?
Callan swings from poles and assless chaps and gets money thrown at him by pirates, but
I stop
other than
whatever
that,
I'm doing and I point at Perry and I'm just like, that happened once. One time.
Yeah, one time.
Listen, Cal,
Why
just
is
In
he
pretend.
front of a
so good
whole
at
Very
it?
Just like
lot of,
pretend I'm the pole.
concerned.
in front of a
I'm-
whole lot of pirates. It's fantastic.
I am very concerned for your well-being, but you had specimens.
Oh, we have 32 gallons of ancient green dragon blood too.
I already
Yeah.
called dibs.
Oh, jeez.
Then I just stare at Foster.
I'm
Yeah,
sure. I'm sure that you could spare 1 gallon of the 32. Could you spare 1 gallon of the, maybe a pint?
How
I
much
don't
is
know.
left from
What are you gonna?
2
How about
weeks
a
in the
pint?
air?
Actually, quickly,
his
do you have
dagger?
any? Do you, do you have any other parts of the dragon?
Yeah,
Yes,
actually,
a
we
whole
do.
lot of
You
them.
do?
Yeah.
You
Really?
guys
Told
also
you I
have a
was
full
there,
blood
I
Do you
was
have,
gone.
by chance, scales and bone?
Yes.
Yes.
We have
Ooh.
20 pounds of scales.
Do any of
Uh,
you use a shield?
I have a shield. I could use a better one, I suppose.
Can you hand me some scales and some bones, and I'll get you guys something that will make you all, well, him, a little bit more protected.
Did you already explain who I was with me being muted? I missed it.
We didn't explain who you were. He asked you if you asked him a question.
I
Oh,
did.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cal.
We can retcon.
Never mind. It's all good. I thought Perry was introducing everybody one by one, and I wanted to be here for it because all I thought came into was assless chaps.
Oh man, I wish. No.
The best part to come into.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you could get me those, I might be able to do something for you. I'm not 100%, but I've been meaning to try.
Uh-huh. Could I ask what you would do with it?
Well, back in my tribe days, I was taught a little bit about the hunt and how to turn beings into useful items, and one of those was the shield. Seeing as you have the scales of a dragon, which normally are resistant to the elements, if I were to make a shield out of the scales of said dragon, looking at Clark.
Yeah, you could you can make some stuff out of dragon hide. It would well, it depends what you're trying to make.
Okay,
Shield.
so I have an ability. It is called Cunning Artisan. And as part of a short rest, I can harvest parts of bone, hide from a slain beast, construct, dragon, monstrosity, or plant creature. It doesn't say it has to be magical, but making a couple assumptions here, if I'm using the scales of a creature, it might infer like resistance on block or something. Or like advantage on a save against a certain element. I don't know.
No, because a magic item, like there is a magic item called Dragon Scale Armor,
Mm.
and its only ability is that it gives you resistances and stuff to the damage that it is made out of. So I'm gonna have to do a hard pass on the fact
You
that you
have to
can
hit
just
me with a hard
instantly, yeah, a hard no on instantly making magic items.
Having a
don't
really
know.
weak version that like
Was worth a
minus
try.
1 poison damage. That's all it does.
I think I will allow you can make a really cool version of the item that you're making, depending on what sort of material you're using.
So it's a flavor thing?
Yeah, it's a flavor thing.
Okay.
Or I mean,
I
could
if
make
you're
it look-
if you're very nice, I might give it a minor property, but that's it.
All right, I'll think about this for a moment. I'm like, I don't know if this will work, but I could make it look, and I put up fingers and do quotation marks in the air. Dope, as the kids tend to say.
Oh my god.
I've never heard that word before.
Oh, really?
Sure. I mean, we can probably spare a few. I don't really know where we would sell them anyway. Guys, what do you guys think?
It might be worth more as a shield, regardless, or whatever I could turn it into.
I'm just gonna kind of look around at the group. I mean, I'm not in charge of this. It's our stuff. So.
I'm keeping one as a souvenir, but other than that, I'm all for. Then
I think if we could put them to use, it'd be better than just buying fodder, you know?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they're on the ship. We can go get them later.
Yeah, they're a bit heavy. It's a lot of them. But yeah, we can get you some.
Wait, you have a ship?
Yes, it normally flies.
Uh-huh. That is not a kind of ship I've heard of before, but
No, it's very new. It's where I come from. Brazil.
I hadn't either.
yes. We land-bound creatures normally don't go up in flying wooden things. This is
Boy,
different.
you're about to have something of an adventure. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun, and I really enjoy it, but it's not the time right now. We should really be
Yep.
meeting everyone. It's
Wait.
a pleasure to meet you. What do
Fun.
you call yourself?
Fun's a word.
They call me Foster. The more official title is Dr. Roanwood, but Foster will do.
Oh, doctor. Callan's a doctor. I gestured to the person on my shoulders.
He's the one who's collected the blood, yes?
Yeah,
Callan's just playing with his daggers.
on my shoulders. All right, good.
He sees
Is there any blood
discipline.
left from the dragon after 2 weeks in the airship?
He doesn't drink very much blood, so it's probably like a gallon. Like I don't take a gallon every time.
Doesn't
I
I'm
kill
talking
drink
something.
about
that much
dagger.
blood.
No, I know.
Doesn't drink that much blood. Drinks half of a dragon.
No, I mean that was a new taste. I mean, if you go for fondue, you're gonna have like one bite, or you're gonna eat the whole fountain.
This is
There's
disturbing.
I normally dip,
so many
and
disturbing things.
actually, there's a thought. What the hell is fondue?
Oh, do I have something to show you?
Is that a halfling thing?
It'll
Might
take.
be
I take offense to that.
It's a Kender thing. Jeez.
Hey, now who's racist?
Oh my
I'm
god!
good.
You
Listen.
all get worse by the
What?
second.
Every time I hear a new word, I keep getting told it's a halfling thing. I'm gonna make some associations.
By the halfling, not by me.
we just like to make up a lot of slang words, and we kind of keep ourselves to ourselves language wise, so we end up with a lot of stuff like that. It's not like we invented all new words, although that'd be pretty cool, and I think we'd be really good at it.
Actually, I'm pretty sure, Adam, that you have said it's a halfling thing before.
I think I've
You
never.
actually
I definitely have never
I
said it.
distinctly remember you
I
saying
remember-
it at least
Lies.
once.
I think you've said it once, and I think Cicero has also said it once.
Said what?
It's a halfling thing.
It's a halfling thing, yeah.
Like, that's just our explanation for words that other people don't understand.
When we met a game, yeah.
Oh no, not even that, but like just anytime we use a word somebody doesn't understand. That's just the group's new
It's a
saying.
halfling thing, yeah.
Anyway, Donnie's just like, well, it's good that y'all are getting along, but we should really get all together. I think Mika wants to have a group discussion on what exactly we're going to do.
Understandable.
And he leads you all to the main long table of the banquet hall.
Wait, quickly. I have to do a thing. I
Yeah.
have to finish the thing I was previously working on for Mika, and run back to the thing quickly. Grab it, like literally just a poster, and like put it forward, and it just says, "Bandage your wounds, you idiots." And it's like, ha! See, she wanted to put this on the training grounds.
All right, I'll get someone to go do that, I suppose. And he like looks over to one of the a Goliath standing in the corner and hands him the banner, and the Goliath heads out.
I'll take it. Sweet.
What you wrote it in common, right?
Yes.
The Goliath is a little bit confused when he gets given the banner. It looks like he can't really read it. But he brings it outside anyways, and later on, you will see that the sign is posted upside down.
That's fine. I'll take
Not the brightest around here, huh?
No, it's been work.
Like I said, she doesn't like dumb people, but that's just the majority of the people here.
You know, I've heard a saying that there's someone about the company you keep that can tell you about a person.
Well, I guess you're just gonna have to meet her first, Mr. Judgy.
I don't remember you being such a dick.
Hey, well, all I remember is our last talking, and it
He
didn't
was.
really
I
end
remember
too
it. He was
well.
like a dick the whole time. I remember it distinctly.
Anyway, let's try to put past our differences and try to work for the good of this fucking island place, I don't even care anymore. Just sit down at the goddamn table.
Oh boy.
Yes, he just like sits down next to Tick Tick, a little bit flustered. Tick Tick gently gives him a pat on the back
I'm gonna just pull out books.
with his
I'll pull out a single
manticles. All right,
Okay.
so as you guys are sitting down at the table, you look to the head of it, and a dwarven woman is looking back at all of you. One sec.
Is he getting his dwarf female voice ready?
Yeah. He's doing Anchorman style of vocal warm-ups.
Yeah. All right, I'm expecting a lot here.
So anyway, you guys see Mica Rockface at the other end of the table. She looks to you all, judging you up as she just sits down at the table. Hello, I'm Mica Rockface. I am here, and you are here because we all have big problem. Prince Rygar Irwinern has now become king of the principalities. He wants to send many men off to war to die in Eberron, trying to join this last war. We are here to stop that. We have many options to choose from in order to try to defeat him, but each option will be hard, and you may not come back from it. So, I would like to get to know all of you, and on top of that, if you have any information that might be able to help us defeat this Rygar, then it would be most appreciated if you would say that at his table. And she looks around to everyone. And Gordon slowly just like raises his hand. Well, first of all, I'm Gordon, first mate of Captain Kingsley. We've heard word of certain pirates up north. Not really pirates, more cultist type, that seem to be worshipping some type of large sea behemoth known as the Kraken. We believe that these people have been gathering great power because they have been able to cut off an entire portion of the sea from other folks. So perhaps it would be good to go up in that direction, see exactly what they have, and perhaps see if we can take that power for ourselves.
As soon as he mentioned the Kraken, Aaron was paying rapt attention to this.
Is this a new development, Gordon, or have they been at it for a long time?
This has been happening for a while now. We may be new to the scene of, sailing about, but from the stories that we've heard from up north, this has been going on for probably decades now.
Is that the Dark Depths cult?
I think that might be what they're called, yeah.
Alright. How'd you come by all this information?
Did you happen to
Well, we've been sailing in the north for a while, and we did happen upon them at one point. We had to escape escape, but not before they destroyed most of our boat and killed most of our crew.
Do you know anything about prisoners or where they might be keeping them?
No, we only know that they've been sailing around the north. We don't really know where their home base would be.
Well, do you know about Ilmaro Castle?
Morrow Castle, and Gordon's gonna roll a history check because he's a smart boy.
Smart boy.
He is a smart boy.
Yes,
No. He's a smart boy.
Yes, he is.
He is like, that's that's on Farland, isn't it?
I believe so. I have it on, admittedly, something of dubious authority that is their base.
Oh, well, we didn't even get past the seas around Three Sisters. Wow, they must be deep in there.
On something called Fingerbone Mountain is what I've heard.
Well, it would be a lot more difficult to try to go over there given that knowledge, seeing as the fact that they cut us off over at Three Sisters just means that they have probably a lot of people that we gotta deal with.
Well, if we're gonna have an expedition there, I want to be part of it.
Well, we can fly over the water, which is an excellent addition, but it makes stealth a bit difficult, especially if their area of expertise is quite large. Prince Mica Rockface, Sister kind of sits, or if we're sitting, I presume we're sitting. Sits,
Yes, blue one.
Yeah, that's very kind.
You're welcome.
Do you know where we've come from?
Yes, we've heard that you came in flying ship, and that you came from north. Either you escaped from Rygar and stole one of his ships, which I did not know that he would have flying ship, or you were from a, I can only imagine that Rygar wanted to put you through hell like he went through hell, and he put you on the island of Trebaz Senora.
Your intuition is razor sharp. He sent us on an expedition to Tantamar back when we thought that he had good intentions. We were told that there were people still there, we needed to clear them out. On our return journey, as no one was there, he set upon us and put us all on Trebaz Senora after killing one of our companions. That's where we've been. How long were we there? Is it hard to tell?
Well, Rygar's army has been moving for quite some time now. They are close to all meeting near the coast. Soon they will go attack Mueller's hold, which, if they attack that, then the dwarves there will most surely die. They just were under an attack from not one but two dragons. And also a pit fiend. It was very, very weird. I don't know why there was a pit fiend there, but there was. Apparently a group of adventurers had made a pact with it and dared it to do it, and that's what happened.
Could I ask, what color were these dragons that attacked the town or city?
One of them was blue. Big blue dragon. The other one was an even bigger red dragon.
Okay.
The red dragon, however, seemed to be undead, and some have reported that when the blue dragon was eventually moited, that the red dragon brought it back to life as a servant.
Moidled.
Man, this sounds like a bad time.
It was a bad time. Half of my family died.
Oh god. I'm so sorry.
Apologize.
No problem. I have big family.
Oh, that's good.
Oh. Okay.
Congratulations on half of your family still alive. If I may be so bold, how many of your ideas in apprehending Rygar and stopping him from sending a lot of people to their deaths via wartime end in him dying?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear it. I spaced out for a second. What did you say?
Dang it, Clark.
I'm sorry.
If I may be so bold, how many of your plans to apprehend and stop Rygar from sending a lot of people to their deaths via wartime end in Rygar dying?
Oh, pretty much all of them.
I love it. You're fantastic. Great. That's all I wanted to know.
I have a question. Why do you care about all the him sending off his followers? I feel like it would make things easier for you.
Well, one, he's trying to get me to send my men out there, which is a no-go for me. And then second of all, if you didn't know, I am a goddamn prince of these islands. I don't care what Rygar says. I care for the people of these principalities.
Apparently more than half your family.
Half of my family died in Muirhold. Why you have to bring that up?
You did. I didn't bring it up. You did.
No, you just brought it up again for like no reason. I don't understand. They did nothing over here. They're in Muirhold, not in principalities.
Sure.
May I ask, what is it you wish
Yeah.
to gain out of this?
What do I wish to gain? Well, one, I want to see Rygar's head on a pike. That would be pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, I would like this, our principalities to go back to that, of principalities, instead of a monarchy. And then finally, I don't know, a big boat, maybe a new kitten. I love kittens, though that might be nice if you're just asking me what I want.
I click my fingers and I cast that one spell that will summon me 8 kittens.
Conjure beast.
Bada bing.
Oh wow, 8 new kittens, all for me. And she just picks one up and puts it in her beard.
Those will last an
Right.
hour, but have fun with those.
Oh. Well, never mind. Let me make an addendum. I also want a kitten that lasts for at least 5-6 years.
Oh,
Enough to get
Realize it's
love
gonna
and
be a
care
cat
out
after
of
like
it.
a month, right? Like it's gonna stop being a kitten very shortly.
Oh, is that what you mean? Okay. So they only going to take hour before they cats. All right.
no, they do very literally just whoosh. I'm just, it's quality over quantity in sense of time. There are 8 kittens, but you only have them for an hour.
She just starts stroking the kitten in her beard as the other ones just like start playing about the table.
Cute,
Anyways.
cute, cute.
So, is there anything else that people have that we could use in order to defeat Rygar? Any news? Any places of interest? Any allies we might be able to draw in?
Influence would be nice.
Is now owned by my friend, who is like a giant ancient tree. So that's good, right?
I mean, that is good. We could always try to send troops there, and then, well, that might be a little bit difficult. Because the thing is with Trebaz Senora, easy to get on, hard to get off, as you can already know. But the main thing is that the currents of Trebaz Senora always just push towards its shores and its rocky, and its rocks. So if we even try to disembark from Trebaz Senora, we might just be crushing our ships instead of actually sailing out. But it is a good place to think of grouping up over there. Maybe using your ship in order to move from island to island. But for right now, Trebaz Senora is no good to us. It is in middle of Rygar territory.
How are relations with the Tempest Isles?
Tempest Isles we haven't heard from in a while. However, I try to keep in contact with the people there as much as I can. And last thing that I get from them is one of my friends telling me that he does not wish to work for Rygar, and that Rygar is trying to make weapons with them using their soul crystals.
I think I should pay them a visit. I spent quite a long time with the changelings there. They're quite kind and they work very hard. If we want mere forces and another place to call a base, they are very willing. And the crystals there are fantastic to use. Anything to keep out of Rygar's hands.
That would be good, and we could get more weapons for use against Rygar and his army.
True.
However, I will remind you all of the biggest threat of Rygar is not his influence over the people or the vast army that he has. It is more specifically his hold on the sea dragons, the elite force of sailors that he has. They are huge wooden ships that even my men, my elite force, could not take out. Not even one of them.
How big?
You see your ship out there, the big one?
Yes.
Well, it's
Don't do this to me.
bigger than yours by 50% more.
So how big are we, out of character, how big are we talking, Clark? Like 40 cannon or?
So, like, you think Man of Wars, but
Yeah, 40 cannon.
but like, seeing as this is a
Scared.
magical place, they've been able to make a Man of War even bigger without sinking, and even more sturdy. It is a scary thing to behold.
Alright, well, they're slow as fuck
But
then.
bears
So.
can't fly. Bears can't fly.
You are right, theirs cannot fly, of what we know.
So I hope they can't fly. I'd be very sad if they can.
Me as well. I want to make sure that they do not fly, but to be honest, I don't think we have ever fought one to its fullest potential, so I do not want to. I wish to not try.
How many sea dragons are there to speak of? Do we know? Ships, not people.
I think there's like 6 ships,
6 ships.
but don't
Okay.
quote me on that. I'll look it up.
Hmm. I'm not awfully good at flying.
20 ships.
Ah, it's a lot.
Here's the description. The leader is High Prince Rygar and Weiner. They seat in Green Tarn at Regalport. Though you guys have never seen them in the docks. The Sea Dragons have 20 ships and a host of loyal warriors. With the strength, tactics, and guile they practice, they've become the strongest of the powers in the Lazar Principality. Their leader, Prince Rygar, has created their base at Regalport, the center of trade in the east. The Sea Dragons and Rygar fought for recognition at Thronehole, yada, 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 yada. They're very big, scary ships.
Sounds like the kind of people we would prefer to be allies, if not neutral with.
Well, we can't really do that because they work directly under Rygar.
He is the man we want to cut the head off of and put in a spike.
By the way, was Captain Raven one of the sea dragons?
No.
Okay.
What kind of influence does Rygar have over these people?
Like, he made them. He's their captain.
Right.
Like, their main captain, even beyond the captains of each ship.
Anything.
Yes. I understand. Hmm.
And Egon pipes up. While I was over on Green Tarn in Regalport before I was shipped out here, I did a little bit of research into some of Rygar's holdings and things. You know, I wanted to see where he gets all his stuff, and I discovered that the ships, the sea dragons, they are partially controlled by the by House. My brain is House Thorani.
Of course they are. Of course they are, Egon.
Yep, they are.
Cicero is very silent.
Is there anything we wish to do about that?
House Thorny is, I can't really tell if they're in Rygar's pocket or the other way around. I think they're in Rygar's pocket, but the two are close, and the only one to speak out about it are the family, and if you step beyond them is very dead. We need allies elsewhere. I don't think we can get the sea dragons to be kind to us, but we at least need some sort of a chance to take them down, all one by one. Or we go straight to the source and we kill him, but I don't think that would be very simple to do at all.
No, before we could even get to Green Tarn, they would be able to rout us and kill us in seconds. There's no way.
So far, we've heard a lot about what Rygar is doing. What about you? What are you doing?
Well, I was waiting to hear what everyone had to say before I give us our plans, but here is what I have. And she snaps in another Goliath. Well, actually, she'll snap in probably Leyland. You will go ahead and place down a map on the table of the Lazar Principalities, and she'll point to certain areas and put little tacks on them. The first one she does is Tempest Isles. Like you said, Blue One, the Tempest Isles are Cicero.
Great.
The Tempest Isles are a good place to start. I have friends there who wish to help. So if we can try to get a hold of there and take all their soul crystals away from Rygar, he will not have the weaponry that he needs in order to lay siege onto Ebron. And more importantly, we will have a fighting chance at defeating him. And then she places attack onto Trebaz Senora. Trebaz Senora is a very good location, given what you all have said. We could always send a secret strike force, i.e. you guys, to be there and possibly make your way over to Regalport from hiding in that direction. But first, we would need to send a battalion of people, a battalion of ships through there in order to make sure that you are not spotted. You are like big blimp in sky. And then she places attack onto Dreadhold. That is where this place come in. Dreadhold. There are lots of criminals there that wish to be set free, and I'm sure that they would love to kill Rygar. Some of them are my men, and I have been giving them letters as to do what, as to perhaps get people on our side there. It will be a perfect distraction as we break people out of Dreadhold. You use your ship to go over to Trebaz Senora, and then while they are focusing all on Dreadhold, you can then fly from Trebaz Senora over to Regalport. But there is problem, and she puts attack on Farwatch. This place has Dreadhold down on lockdown. If we try to get there, they will already have a huge force waiting for us, so that's why we need the weaponry of Tempest Isles to go defeat them. And then she puts attack onto the Ilmaro Castle over in Farnlen. Now, like you said, this may be a good place to go find power, young Gordon. But it is a possibility of power, not a promise. So let us think of this will come later. I do not think that we can risk everything right now to go on an expedition over here. But we don't know what we will see in the future, so maybe a miracle is what we'll need. Then she puts attack over in Valinar. I'll do that. Valinar is a country of desert. Not a lot of men know how to sail boats. However, they do know how to fight and they know how to live. They live in desert. They can kill easily. Wonderful warriors. So, my plan is to go talk to leaders in Valinar, offer them gold and anything they would like, and bring them up with us to try to take out and try to place them down on certain places, perhaps trying to stop the attack on Moorholds, or to try to take a section of them and have them attack Rygar's islands. Then she places attack onto Quibara, more specifically New Throne. New Throne is very important. They were attacked by Rygar and his army before, very long time ago, when they were trying to revolt. Rygar took his sea dragons and fought them down. If there's anyone that would know about the sea dragons and how they fight, it would be New Throne. And then finally, she places one on Green Tarn in Regalport. Regalport is like impenetrable island. We will not be able to get in unless we take out his control from other islands. We will need to go around defeating each one of his patrols on the island. That is the only way that we could even hope to get close to Green Tarn. However, we will need men. We will need weapons. And again, we might even need a miracle. So, these are the things that I have come up with so far. Do any of you have anything else you would like to add that might be a potential asset to us during this war?
I mean, Aurielle's supposed to be coming back with an army at some point, so there's that.
Yes, we had a cleric companion at some point. She headed off and should be returning with lots of reinforcements, but I'm afraid I don't have lots of information of what sort. She seemed confident.
We will remember that. Any other assets?
Our fallen friend His name was Khord, had an ally of a silver dragon. He seemed to be very old, but we could look through his things to see if he had an account of a name, perhaps a dwelling place. Having a dragon on our side would not be anything to scoff at.
That would be a good thing for us. If we could find this dragon and where it lairs, perhaps we could ask it for aid. I imagine a silver dragon would not like a king sending his men to die.
I agree. This one's not so much an asset as something to look out for. There is an undead kraken deep underneath the ground, but I don't think it's going to come up. A kraken was killed by us with the help of a lot of people, and it's undead now because of Orcus's influence, and it might come up, but most likely he probably just wants to hold on to it.
Well, you remember Captain Ink?
I've heard of man, yes.
Out of character, wasn't Ink part of, like, wasn't he working with
It
Mica?
was forged. It was a forged thing.
I don't remember.
Rygar did. Rygar did illusory script and made it seem like that's what was written, but they weren't actually.
Well, he was part of that wizard cult on, that you said is a far-fetched quest, and he was a kraken, and we killed him, and he became undead.
And you say he is Orcus's servant now?
Yeah.
She sort of just like puts her elbows on the table and just thinks really hard. And then just says, "Let us pray that Rygar does not seek aid from Orcus at any time."
I sincerely hope not, no.
Though,
Doesn't seem a godly man.
did you tell him about this?
Did we tell him about this?
You did give that report.
We did give that report, yes. Because that was when we were still following his instructions. To be fair, after spending a lot of time on Trebaz Senora, we've got some good experience fighting undead things, especially ones that want to eat you.
Well, hopefully that will be enough against a fucking undead kraken.
Listen, if we had the ability to go back in time and make it a different situation, we would have. But we can't, so this is what we have to deal with. Would you rather us to not tell you?
Thank you for telling me.
You're welcome.
Though that does not free you from the guilt of creating an undead kraken.
We've been dealing with it this far.
I look at Callan.
We've been dealing with it this far.
And then
I would like
Go
to
ahead.
quickly point out, in the case of which your man decides to gain favor with Orcus, we also have a half miracle, half chance up our sleeve. If things get desperate, we do have that.
we have, yes. Hopefully, Kraken fight whoever it wants instead of just for him. So yes, it might be miracle in disguise. Might. There is another place that I have heard of, and she places attack on Three Sisters. Three Sisters, it has that name for a reason. It is said in wives' tales that Three Sisters is actually, each island is hosted by a hag that has lived for, some say, since the beginning of everything, before the gods decided to crack the islands off of the mainland. If we could go talk to hags, perhaps they help, perhaps they don't. Either way, it is option. And then she just looks at you all. We will not be getting help from mainland. Only place that we can get help from is perhaps Valinar and Nuthron. But if you don't know, the mainland is currently at war with itself. People from Breland to Thrain to Karnath slaughtering each other, trying to decide who the true new king of Eberron is. And that is exactly what Rygar wishes to do with his army, to bring them into this bloodbath. He wishes as the armies of his enemies start to falter, he can come in and take the win as the true lord, the true king of Eberron. So, we need to stop that from happening. We cannot get help from them. We are the only ones.
And how many of we are there?
We have all the men of my island, which comes around to 4,000 men. Rygar currently has 20,000 men and even more ships. I'm sure that if times get tough, he'll start to have his own peasants start to learn how to sail ships and fight. There is one last place, though. One last place that I am now just remembering. Because you mentioned a dragon. She places attack on to Dragonwatch Isles. While we're over in Valinar, we'll be very close to Dragonwatch Isles. When dragons used to rule Eberron, this place was used as a fort to warn the mainland of when dragons would come to attack. Perhaps we haven't heard any word from there in a long time. Perhaps dragon come take it. Or not. Either way, it'd be a good outpost, not only to watch out for Rygar's men, but also we could talk to them and see if they'll teach our warriors the way of how to fight against dragons. We will be fighting sea dragons after all.
So where do you suggest we start? We have a lot of options. I know you're going to.
I have a thought.
Please.
Yes.
So one of the greatest parts of a war is, or at least the thing that measures the ability of the men, is morale. Now, to raise morale, we should be able to go to certain things and get training, yes? The people who train in dragon slaying would offer a rather, formidable amount of that. Getting more soldiers, especially skilled ones from Valinar, would be something, and actually succeeding on the prison break, no matter how hard it is, would probably raise the morale of everyone a little bit, especially if people get to come home and see their families again.
Yes, that is what I think. We should not undervalue the source of morale within our men. The more
Yeah.
someone has to lose, the more they will fight hard to keep it.
True.
So while subterfuge is indeed an idea, and at some points a useful one, having a sort of support system for everyone will improve everyone's ability, at least a little bit. Therefore, I believe if we start with Valinar and get the support of these military men, we can then use that force to break the to help us with the prison break. Then, once we are done with the prison break and have all of the men we can possibly gather, we then could go to the dragon people, whatever they are, I've already forgotten, and get them to train as many men as possible in dragon slaying or give us the information and yada yada yada. Since, from what I'm aware of, your men understand the language of battle much more than the language of information.
Yes. I think that will be a good idea. I will take a look and see if there are any of our allies to train our men, and see if there are others around that may be willing to do so as well.
This is the best input I have. Does anybody else have any ideas?
I think starting with Valinar and then us perhaps going to New Throne would be an excellent place to start. Asking for support and then from there moving up to Tempest Isles. Gathering people so that when we actually want to go and cause this distraction at Dreadhold and move ourselves into position, we have the full force, and then while perhaps we are at Tempest Isles, we can send people to Dragon's Watch to have themselves trained. This is a lot. I am not normally a tactician. I am doing my best.
Well, were the Tempest Isles, they were under siege, weren't they? Aren't they? Well, is Rygar already sending men there?
Yes, Rygar is already sending men there. If we go there now, we maybe cut him off and possibly save the people of Tempest Isles. But if we go to Valinar first, he will most assuredly take over Tempest Isle. But if we get the men from Valinar, then perhaps it will be just as easy to take Tempest Isle back.
Well, Cicero, how long do you think your home could hold out?
How long do you think my home could hold out, Clark?
You know that the majority of those people are not fighters.
They're artisans. They work really hard.
Yeah,
Not
they're
really.
artificers, and the work that you were putting in to create Little Soul Forged, they aren't even fighters either. So if they tried finishing off your work, it wouldn't really even help.
So that sounds the most critical to me.
I want to go there. It's not. It's a surrogate home. They were kind. They don't deserve any of this.
And even if we do get people to reconquer the Tempest Isles, the people there,
The morale would be affected.
having been conquered twice, that'd be a lot of destruction.
Wouldn't feel good. A lot
Exactly,
of things
yeah.
would be lost. Saving them now does indeed seem like the best idea then.
So, we go Tempest Isle then?
Yes. I want to go.
Alright. She will then take the tack out and put a little figurine down on there. One of just a giant battle axe. We will send them in there. You will go too.
Good.
Quickly, do we have spies or anything of the sort?
We do not work with spies here on Krag.
I look around at the
It's the direct
blatant
approach.
intelligence I see on display.
You are very right. Do you know anywhere where we could get a spy master or something akin to that that would help us out?
Would
the
Lutheran have
people-
something like that?
Who?
Would Lutheran have something like that?
I was going to say Valinar. They have
True.
lots of mercs for hire. And I am positive that the people of the desert, they will have good spies.
Not to mention their faces won't be known. It's very separate. Better than sending any of us.
If these islands weren't so personal, I'd be on the side of going straight to Valinar. However, I see the emotional value with saving these people.
Well, and I will be there once we can secure Tempest Isle and make sure that they're safe. After that, what?
Oh, what I'm mostly worried about is the idea of Rygar also making alliances, maybe making the clear objective that's just lying there while we're distracted.
From what you guys already know, Rygar not only got the islands to work with him and all their princes, he also has House Thorani working with him. he has House Lythander, who he has blackmailed into not fighting against him. And as far as you know, he says that he is the true heir to the King of Eberron. So he may even have people in the mainland who seek to help him as well.
His diplomatic ability seems to be unrivaled, one that seems to gather friends from all over, if friends could be put into quotations. Now, conquering a land will give you less than making friends with it and then allying yourself and using their resources. However, the way that he's going about doing this means that the place will just be destroyed. In fact, it seems almost as if this is a personal attack rather than one of strategy.
You've given this a lot of thought.
No, I'm just taking the information I currently have and putting it into action. Valanar could be taken while we're distracted. This is just an idea I have in my head. If there is any way that we could slow that process down while still doing the thing that clearly we have a personal interest in, might be the time to say something about it.
Valinor is not considered part of the Lazar Principality, so I think we'll be safe. It's part of the mainland, and I'm not sure if it's in his sights any more than the rest in the whole of Eberron is.
And if Valinor are indeed good fighters, I don't think they'll be taken so easily.
You'd have to go onto the land. There's a strength in his sea dragons, but you can only surround it so much when half of the country is desert.
I'm not referring to the idea of him literally conquering the place. I'm inferring an alliance between the two. Maybe he could blackmail them. He has, again, shown prowess in gathering allies. Which is something we've clearly not yet done. Getting a leg up on that front would be helpful.
We could split our forces a little bit. We could go to the Tempest Isles since we care, and perhaps Mica would be able to go to Valinor and her entourage, I suppose.
That's not a half bad idea. If we start up some sort of rebellion, inspire the people and give them a little bit of mediocre training, the few here seem like inspiring folk, if not. Have you all? They've got like a title, right? Have I heard of these people?
Us?
Yeah.
We're Bermuda Hex.
You
Bermuda
know
Hex,
us, Bermuda Hex.
You guys seem like the inspiring folk, one who could turn a nation from its knees to its legs. We might not do the best, and it might be a little bit scrappier, but it would be safer.
I would think that we were sent to inspire this fortress full of like young people, and they ended up like completely hating our guts. So,
when did that happen?
We weren't there for that. That was just her. That was just her.
Yeah, that was just Perry and Cassandra.
Perry, when did this happen?
Oh my god!
It was me and Cassandra and Khord, and who else? Like Donnie was there. Was Donnie there?
Yep, I was there. The kids thought that Perry was trying to flash him, but she was actually just doing some battle scars.
It's really classy that that's the thing you remember.
Perry.
Well, hey, that's what they started to freak out about. That they were little snob twerps. I know.
One of them was a tunnel drake, and Khord killed one of his buddies. Anyway, that's kind of a side story. I was just saying, let's not base our plan upon us being inspiring.
No, but rebellions start with an idea, and an idea can't be killed.
Mica will look over and say, to your plan, I don't know your name, guy with bow, tall, Aaron, yes. Your plan to send me over to Valinor will not work because I will not be leaving this place unless it is to fight.
Well,
because
do you not have a proxy or something?
Don't we have diplomats?
Like she looks over to the Goliath.
Oh, God, this place is disappointing.
Listen, we may not be diplomats, but we are fighters. I will not be going off to go do diplomacy missions. That is not what my men wish to see me do, and that will not be inspiring to them
Well,
if we're talking about keeping them inspired.
I
So
hope you and your
Then how about we
4,000 can
swap
win the war
places?
on your own then.
Bada
I
bing.
was I was going to say after you go from Tempest Isle, you go down to Valinar.
So
It's fine,
basically,
guys,
what
they're
you're
home.
saying is while you're sitting on your ass here, we do all of the work.
They train. I don't know. We don't want to
Guys,
insult the only people that
guys.
we've got. Come on now.
We
Okay.
are already fighting, you ignorant pup. My men are dying as we speak about these goddamn plans, so
Do
you
not
shut
fight.
your damn mouth about
Do not
us
fight
sitting on our asses.
Here.
Then how about we swap places? The other place is currently being attacked, and you are much more formidable as warriors. Why don't you go over there and start fighting things while we go to the other place, Valinar, and actually do some diplomatic work?
If you wish us to go take Tempest Isle, sure, we shall.
Perfect. Problem solved.
Be kind. They're not very strong. Don't take any help, but be good to them and don't smash any crystals. There aren't many of them.
Mm-hmm. And while we're over in Tempest Isle, Krag, we'll be vulnerable.
Ah,
I don't think you will ascertain what exactly we're doing. Rygar is surrounding us already. We're having to fight off his men already in the
While at
sea.
the same time planning an attack on the mainland?
What do we think? What do you think you guys are here for?
we're the people.
Clearly to fight the whole war.
You are
Okay.
to do these missions in order to help us. We will try to fight to a Tempest Isle, but we will be leaving ourselves vulnerable as well as we do this. Rygar has the men. He has the countless numbers to both attack the mainland and fight us, the last bit of resistance against him.
So no matter what we do, we're at a disadvantage.
Well-
It just is a question of what kind of disadvantage would we like to have.
Look,
Exactly.
it's not like the mainland is helpless. I'd say Tempest Isles are more critical than what was it called?
Valinar.
What can Tempest
Valinar
Isles
must
offer
be-
us again?
They
what
have
was that,
soul
Chloe?
crystals.
Is, come again, what can they do?
They have soul crystals, and so the soul crystals can be made into weapons that Rygar can use. Also, I love them.
Okay. So soul crystals. Can that
Yes.
our men?
Yes,
What does he gain from that?
weapons.
He gains even more firepower to take over the mainland.
Wouldn't he already have enough?
No,
He does.
because his sea
not-
dragons can't go on land.
Right.
You do know, you would know a little bit of history that basically there was a man that took over Eberron. His name was King Galifar. He took over Eberron in the first place, and when it came down to, he took down the entire continent, and all that was left was the Lazar Principalities. And even though the Lazar Principalities had the superior fleet, Galifar was able to defeat them because of the troops that he had on the mainland. So you can only assume that the reason why Rygar is doing this is because he knows of his father's acts before, and he knows that if somehow the mainland start to work together to try to defeat him, they might be able to. So he's trying to get that edge on them.
Hmm.
It's
He's
a
being
lot.
overconfident in that sense, isn't he?
Yes, he is, because he's a dick.
I still totally feel like this is bait.
Well, if it's bait, it's good bait because it's important to Cicero and to this
Oh my god, it would be
cause.
bait, wouldn't it? I hate him. I hate him so much, but I can't leave them.
Mika looks back over to Aaron. I know it sounds like we want you to do a lot. And that's because we do. You are Bermuda Hex. We've heard tales of what you've done. Even if it was for the wrong man, you were able to defeat demons and devils that were underneath Regalport. You were able to escape the attack on Tantamar. You even escaped Trebaz Senora, a feat that Prince Rygar wasn't able to do without help. So yes, we are putting a lot onto you. That is because we know you can take it. And if you can't, then the war is already over. We are but one island. We're putting all our hope onto you.
Great, no pressure.
Have a
Yes,
bit of
we
faith.
will have to do it
So,
well.
who wants to shove off to the Tempest Isles?
I stand up. Well, we're not getting anything done here.
Foster, we've just met you, but
To do it, I want to do it.
I do want to do it. Do you want to come with us, Foster?
I'm going to be entirely honest. If you're going to take bait, I'm going to make sure that you're not going to die while you do it.
That is much appreciated. Our cleric walked through a portal and we don't know where she is.
You will have to take medic. And you, and she slaps Leyland on the chest. You will go
What?
with him as well.
She
Are you
slapped
sure
him on the
about
ass.
that? I mean, you said you need every fighter. I feel like your lieutenant would probably be one of them.
I'm looking at the majority of you, actually all of you, and I do not see a single healthy bicep muscle on any of you.
I
Hey,
have
Does
14
hey, I am
wait,
buff
hang
as
on.
hell.
I have
Does anyone
14
have
Thank
Does anyone
you
have the
very
belt attuned right now?
No,
I mean,
no
that's
buff,
one.
and
magic.
that's
That would make
canon.
you stronger.
It's canon, Clark. Perry's super buff.
Besides the small one, the half, all of you look like wet little blankets.
Oi, I can take a hit now. I don't drink Tantamar.
This one will be able to help you. He is my most trusted man. He will not try to betray you. I know that you may not trust me. The last prince you trusted did unspeakable things to you. Like, you can at least believe that we both want one thing, and that's for Rygar's head to be on a pike. So I'm not going to do anything that stops me from getting to that point. And my best way of doing that is keeping you alive.
Wonderful.
Convincing. I'm gonna be real.
Okay. Great. Plan sorted.
You'll take him. He good at punch.
Yay.
Great. That makes me feel
Hello.
better.
How do you feel about flying ships,
Me or him?
Leyland?
Hmm.
I mean, I've been through worse.
I like that attitude. Right. Do we want a night here, or do we want to shove off, like, right now?
Time is of the essence.
That's your choice, Cicero. It's your home.
Surrogate home.
Close enough.
Close enough. They're not strong. If it's not of any consequence, the ship is comfortable to sleep on. I think we should get going.
Okay, so that is your job. You go to Tempest Isle, you free it, and you save the people there. If you need more, after such mission is done, I will need you. I will send word by Raven or Seagull to tell you if we would like you to head over to Valinar or if you want to go to a different place. We will
Probably
keep you
shouldn't use
updated.
sequels.
We will keep you updated nonetheless. And she snaps her fingers, and Leyland, you will go ahead and roll. You'll go ahead and roll up the map. And as you guys are getting ready to go on the ship, Perry, you stop for a second, and as you're holding your wand, the wand sort of glows a little bit in your hands, and the people around you can see this as well. As Perry, you get a message from your patron telling you about her plan. And we've already discussed this, so the light of the wand dissipates and you are back, unfrozen. And one last thing that she said is that she will get you over there. Just take a boat and head north. Just you, though.
I don't assume this happens every day, does it?
No.
We don't know what happened. I don't think, right?
You saw the thing light up and she froze, but you don't know exactly what happened.
No.
My friend has this idea that if I go to her and I kind of help, she's given me a lot of power over the years, and if I just, a little bit, she can. I planted trees in Regalport, I planted a couple of them. Thinking if she could get those to a nice size, then we could just maybe she could use that to give you kind of an in to Regalport. But that kind of means I kind of have to go to her self.
Hmm.
So
You're
go
leaving.
ahead.
Too.
So wait, what's going on? Are you going to Regalport while we're going to the Tempest Isles?
I'm supposed to get in a boat. I'm supposed to head north, and I'm supposed to rejoin my friend, and be able to help her to I guess at a distance to help the trees in Regalport, so that we have a kind of an inn there.
You'll be heading back to Trebaz Senora.
I'll be heading back to Trebaz Senora.
Do you want to go back there? I know you said your friend's there, but
Will she keep you safe, Harry? That's what I want to know.
I mean, even I'll be anywhere, I guess. You know how things are, Cicero.
No.
Leave you guys, but it sounds like we need all the help we can get, and this is the way I can do that. So I don't want to say that I want to go, but I kind of feel like I can. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Harry, your friend's been helping you since the beginning. I didn't know what to think. As you talked about it was a bit scary. But she's helped us a lot, and I know you've put those seeds everywhere. Everywhere that we've been. The only thing I worry about is you going out on a boat by yourself out in the ocean. I know she's going to keep you safe, but God, that's terrifying. And you have to go right past Regalport. So long as she can secure the fact that you're traveling on the water safely, I'm happy, but you need to come back and you need to come back safe. Do you understand?
Yes. And I mean, she fixed that whole old airship and stuff, and she gave it all the treasure, and I think she can probably manage it.
I'm sure she can.
And I'm really strong, so I'm good at rowing.
Yes, you are. But I'm sure
It's
she could
true
figure
enough.
some ways to repel. Come on now.
I'll ask. I don't want to be too forward.
I don't want you to get exhausted. You can't help anyone if you're dead asleep or dead.
Very true. Oh, I kind of feel like I'm bending you guys, so I feel bad about that. But I wouldn't leave if I didn't think it would help, and I do.
Well, oh, it'll be weird without you, fearless leader.
Oh, shut up. You don't like me being in charge.
Well, someone's got to be.
You know, you're the one that offers ideas when everybody else is being quiet.
Well, that doesn't necessarily
Official.
make you the
While
leader.
I have gone, Aaron is replacing me as the not actually officially the leader.
I don't know if that's the best idea. It should probably be Cicero, to be honest.
Actually, you guys can unofficially fight over it.
Off the record, of course, be fine. If you really want, Aaron, I can teach you how to just drive the ship too.
I'd rather just stay in the middle if it's all the same.
That's alright. That's alright.
I better get going. It's a long way to paddle.
It's a long way to paddle. She better not make you paddle. That would be awful. Be safe and make good decisions. Don't risk your neck. Right?
If I can do both of those at the same time, I definitely will.
That's all I can ask for. He's gonna give you a hug.
Hopefully, Cicero, you left me first.
Yes, but you're not allowed to leave. You're supposed to be the one I come back to. That's not fair. I'll be here.
There. I'm gonna try and come back.
I'm gonna try and come back. That's all I can ask. You're good. You'll be fine. Got this really large tree friend, and you've been putting the seeds everywhere, so I know you'll be alright. You'll be fantastic. Now go. Before I change my mind and stop you from going.
Under a boat or something, huh?
What?
Oh, or I could buy one. I've got a shit ton of money.
Got a shit ton of money. We do. Go. Go, go, go.
All right, Perry, as you head off to the docks, you feel yourself go over to a small little skiff. And as you start to ready the boat to go, you look back to the group who is now boarding the airship. One last look at them as you sail on. As you guys board the airship and start flying up into the air, you guys look down and watch as Perry sails, and you see that she sails into a mist. Just a small little misty area, and then as she enters, a couple seconds later, the mist dissipates, and she's gone.
Well,
You know what? I'd bet gold that if this thing friend of hers is willing to facilitate teleportation there, it's probably willing to teleport her back.
That's a fair estimate.
I,
Surprisingly, that makes me feel better. Yeah.
I certainly hope so.
All right. And you guys will fly on to the Tempest Isle. And that is where we're going to call the session tonight.